This is Jason Rogash. Um, all right, so if anybody knows my channel, um, knows there was a period of time when I don't want to say I was ever a Sandy Hook truth. I was on the, I got caught up in a lot of questions about Sandy Hook. I was, I let my imagination in a lot of cases maybe run wild. I'm not a person who's going to. I'm still a conspiracy theorist, and as Liam Sheff has called himself, a conspiracy realist, and that's what I am. I, if you pay attention to Michael Parenti or anybody like that, they make it very clear. There's two forms of history. There's conspiracy, where more than one person gets together with a group of people and plan out the future. They plan how to make money. They plan how to run an empire. They plan how to run the country. They plan how to run their business. Two people together planning something is technically a conspiracy. Now, of course, we know the shorthand, the nomenclature has changed. Conspiracy online means that you're a conspiracy theorist. JFK assassination, 9/11, Gulf of Tonkin, Iran Contra, Rex 81, many others. William Cooper said something that has in the 90s about public and school shootings, that there was going to be a campaign. And I'm not a huge fan of William Cooper. He did, you got to give him credit about the Osama bin Laden thing before 9/11. You must give him credit for that. But I'm not a huge fan of his. Some of the stuff he did, particularly his alien stuff that he claimed that he saw as a naval officer, and the JFK assassination, that the driver did it, and some of the other stuff, I think he was a little bit disingenuous. But I think he did he was prescient, and he was pretty good, and especially a time before the internet was like it was now. He had some very good information, but you have to investigate it, and you have to be critical of anybody. So when but he made a point of saying there was going to be a bunch of public shootings, and it was going to be a terror campaign against much like an Operation Gladio type of situation. Now, I'm not going to go into too much depth of what Gladio is, but you can go investigate that. When I went through my Sandy Hook questioning, I was friends with Joel from Aryan Empire. Excuse me. Yes, Aryan Empire. And he would do the Reich Watch stuff. I like Joel still, and I wish we were still communicating, but Joel is a little bit more paranoid than I am. So I think that, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean he's protecting himself, and he should. I should have never used my real name, but I'm too far gone down now. And I've paid that price. Believe me, folks, I have paid a fucking price. Psychically, emotionally, mentally, my family has been, I just through the gamut. And I used to make videos about Sandy Hook, and I used to make videos about Lenny Posner, who I'd had some direct communications with, who was the father of Noah Posner. I no longer am a Sandy Hook truther. I believe that it did happen exactly as the media said it. Now, if you don't agree with that, that's fine. You can be critical, and I'm not judging you. Believe me, I am not judging anybody. But I look at this article that's I'm looking at right now, and this is old. I mean, it's a few months old, and it's Sandy Hook parents sue Alex Jones for claiming shooting was a hoax, and Lenny Posner is named in this suit. It's unfortunate to me that we've gotten to this point where Alex Jones has been deplatformed off YouTube, Twitter, etc. Also, in addition to that, anti-vaccination people, or people that are not even anti-vaccination but anti-36 vaccinations, or they're questioning about autism, or they question about what squalene or the other stuff that was in vaccines are being demonized. Anybody who's considered a quote right-wing conspiracy type of person is being demonized on Facebook. And there was just an article, and I would show it on here, but you can just Google search it, about Russians. Supposedly the Russians now are doing anti-vaccination on YouTube. On Facebook, doing anti-vaccination posts on Facebook. And now this was NBC News reporting this, and how bad this was. Now, I think a lot of this is anti-vax people are, I'm not anti-vax, but I would not vaccinate my children 36 times. I don't have them. I would go single vaccinations, and I would educate myself before I put anything into a child's, injected into a child. Go watch the movie Vaxxed. You can pretend that's been disproved or debunked all you want. Dr. Wakefield's a hero, and he's a doctor. The person that tried to destroy Dr. Wakefield's career, and I'm getting aside here, and I'm going to just wrap this up because I've made videos about Vaxxed and other things about vaccinations. But Dr. Wakefield's career was hurt wildly by an asshole by the name of Bill Gates. Bill Gates is a computer fucking programmer billionaire. So we're all supposed to just assume that he, over a doctor, over a person who worked on the stomachs of children who were showing signs after being vaccinated, their stomachs were being destroyed. And if you know anything about the stomach, it has the second most nerve endings. It's how your food gets into your blood system. So of course, if you're vaccinating your stomach, it started to show problems in these children in England, and they had these, and then these kids, he was working on detoxing these children, still is, and he was demonized by the media, and he was sued, and Bill Gates particularly tried to really ruin his life. I've had to listen. I still have to listen to assholes tell me that Bill Gates, we should listen to Bill Gates more about this, a computer programmer billionaire because he's rich, than an actual physician who's worked on children, right? So I wouldn't ask Dr. Wakefield about an operating system. I wouldn't ask him. So I don't know why the media does this, because if you're rich, you can pretty much say any fucking thing you want, and you're an expert because you're rich. So there's been this demonization of the right wing completely on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. It's a backlash from Trump. If Trump hadn't won, and Alex Jones would never have been deplatformed for hate speech on YouTube or Twitter, or taking a Twitter break or whatever they call them, and has problems with Facebook, he'd have never had those problems. This is a backlash from a lot of the left concerning they don't like Donald Trump, and they don't want Donald Trump to be reelected. I am no fan of Donald Trump. In fact, I think he's been very bad for this country, and in a very short period of time, I think. But some of the economic stuff he's done, I don't know how it's going to turn out for the American. I'm not, and I listen to a lot of economists, so I really trust Richard Wolff, Steve Keen, a few others, and I trust what they say. Their analysis is good. When you do a tariff, when you do the tariff thing, and you stop trading with countries and you stop the globalization process, you've got to have something that's going to help the worker. You've got to have some kind of monetary inclusion with the worker. You got to cut their taxes. You got to give them a check. Whatever. And that hasn't been done, and that's unfortunate. And I hope the economic choices that Donald Trump is making for the country, turning us more protectionism, not so maybe isolationism. I don't know which one it is yet, or both. Maybe it'll be good for the American public. Maybe it'll be good for the American working class. Maybe it'll be good for the Midwest. Maybe it'll be good for those states that have been left behind by globalization and NAFTA. I mean, the reason the Democrats and Hillary Clinton particularly had such a problem was the word NAFTA just wouldn't get away from her. She couldn't escape NAFTA, and NAFTA is every union in America fucking hated NAFTA, and it's been around it's like a fucking yoke around, it's like a weight around the necks of Democrats, and until they get away from it, they're fucked. But anyway, so Alex Jones being deplatformed, supposedly doing hate speech. We have a First Amendment in this country, and we're all adults. I don't like Confederate statues. Not a fan. Don't like what the racism of the South, what the slavery, the injustices that were done, lynchings. I'm not an inhuman, but to be tearing down Civil War statues, that's part of American history, good or bad. And it's almost a nanny culture. And I hate conservatives that use the term nanny culture, this nanny state we're living in. But we are, and by the way, it's not being done particularly by the state in many cases. Students at North Carolina University and many others have come out, and God bless them. If they can organize it, and then the majority that want to do it, great, let them. I find tearing down a statue of a historical figure, whether he was on the Confederacy or he was in the Union, I find it wrong. I don't find it helpful or productive. If you go through New Orleans or any of these southern cities and you ride through and you take tours of them, they've got Confederates people all over the place. They've got slave owners. They've got most of our presidents up until slavery was abolished. I think all of them were slave owners. I mean, Adams maybe wasn't. I mean, he was an abolitionist, but I don't know if I think he owned slaves too as well. My point is, I think it's dangerous to go down this line, and I think it's nanny-ish. And I think pulling Alex Jones off of these deplatforming like this treats us like we're children. We can't search for ourselves. Hillary Clinton won by 3 million votes. She did win the popular. People did kind of see through Donald Trump's bullshit. It was the Midwestern states, gerrymandering particularly, that allowed Donald Trump to become president through the Electoral College. But deplatforming Alex Jones treats us like we're children. YouTube treats us like we're children. Facebook is treating us like we're children, and Twitter. And by the way, it's a violation of the First Amendment. Free speech is not for speech you like; it's for speech you don't like. So I was going to make a video about this before. I'm trying to make a video every day now. I'm in school, so I'm trying to just use my brain more. I don't know what that means, but anyway, I don't like this, and I'm sorry that the Sandy Hook parents have gone through so much pain and suffering that they've gone through, but everybody, every conspiracy theories that get around about public shootings or whatever, I think you should be allowed to have an open discourse about it in these public forums without having to worry about being deplatformed. And I worry that the First Amendment is not being respected, and we're not acknowledging that all views must be allowed to be expressed, whether they're vile or not. I hate racism. I hate racists. I fucking hate Nazis. I hate fascists. My whole fucking channel is devoted to this. But I think that you have to hear them. You have to hear them talk. I fucking hate Jordan Peterson. I'd like to deplatform Jordan Peterson, but unfortunately, he needs to be able to speak. I'm not a big fan of this Ben Shapiro, for instance, but he Fox News. I hate Fox News, but I wouldn't want them banned. I wouldn't want Fox News, the FCC, to come in and take. And I know that the government didn't come in and do anything to Alex Jones. It's the parents of Sandy Hook, and it's Facebook and YouTube and Twitter. I get that. They're all private companies. And whether they should be nationalized is a whole other subject. And by the way, I love how the right wing want them to be nationalized when something like with Alex Jones or these guys, Steven Crowder, any of these assholes get deplatformed or have a problem with YouTube or Twitter or whatever. And then they say, like Baked Alaska and all these guys, these right wingers who say, we need to nationalize. These are public commons. These are Republicans. These are conservatives, hardcore conservatives who don't want anything nationalized. And they want it now that it affects them, they can see the benefits of nationalization. Well, maybe they can see that with nationalizing oil companies and nationalizing energy companies and nationalizing things that we actually need. Not like you don't really need Twitter or YouTube or Facebook. But anyway, that's a digression. I think it's sad. Let me know what you think below about Alex Jones, free speech, the Russians supposedly bringing anti-vaccination information onto Facebook, as well as trying to change the 2016 election, and we have to watch out. To me, it's silly. We're the greatest military that's ever existed, and the greatest military intelligence that's ever existed. We're the third largest populated country in the world. We spend more on our military than every other nation combined virtually. We have more intelligence gathering organizations. We have 17 intelligence agencies. The CIA collates all that information. That's their job. So we are, and I think I don't want to be treated like a child. I don't like that YouTube treats me like a child or Twitter treats me like a child. Pornography is one thing. That's fine because kids, but this kind of talk, I don't think is hate speech. And I don't think it's even close. I think it's free speech, and I think it's giving an opinion. And if Alex Jones is probably just obviously Alex Jones is doing it to make money, and he's a bit of a charlatan. But you still have to be able to question these things, and you shouldn't have to worry about your free speech being snatched away by a private corporation because it's the popular thing to do right now. Because Trump's president, let's be honest, most of these people do not care for Donald Trump. They do not care for his politics, and it's popular right now. And nobody will say, "Whoa, don't deplatform Alex Jones." Because the majority that are on YouTube, because they want him gone, because they're Trumped out and they're tired of the left. And I agree. I'm the same way about Trump. I just don't think deplatforming people, taking away their free speech, makes any sense and makes us stronger as a people. It makes us weaker. It makes us childlike. And we're infantile. We're infantilized enough in America with advertising and all the bullshit that they, treating us like children and always going for our sexuality and advertising and treating us like kids. And I don't think this is a good help. I don't think this helps, and I think it's wrong, and I don't agree with it, and I don't like it, and I hope Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter change their mind in the future. Thank you for listening.